Hello everybody, vidium here, and this is my second take on this video because I went over. When I checked the video, it was over 11 minutes. This is a tag video. I was tagged by techromancer1 once again. Watching you, buddy. But this time he tagged me on the 90's tag, and this is a tag that has been going around for a long time. I'm being aware of the 90's tag, but never got to do it. And finally, someone tagged me. So let's see. 5 questions. The first one is what favorite movie from the 90's? Okay, I have said this many times over. I'm a 80's child, so I love everything about the 80's, and my favorite movies are in the 80's. Uh, but there's a lot of great movies in the 90's, but it's very difficult for me to actually pick one. But the thing is that the things that I'm gonna choose for this tag for each one of these questions has to be gaming related, and it is because on the late 80's and all the way through the 90's, that was the golden age of video games, and it was the best time of video games ever. I don't care what everyone says, but the golden age of video games was through the late 80's and all the way through the 90's. It was that rebirth of video games with 8-bit and the transition to 16-bit to the next gen, whatever. So I really have to go with a movie that is video game related, and it is Mortal Kombat. I have to say I love Mortal Kombat. My favorite fighting game of all time actually is Street Fighter, and we have a little rivalry back in the day because there were some kids that actually love Mortal Kombat more. I was with the kids that love Street Fighter more, but I have to say that the Mortal Kombat movie is completely awesome. The Street Fighter movie, God, that actually sucked big time. But Mortal Kombat, I actually went to see Mortal Kombat in the theaters. It was like 6 times, I believe, and 3 of those times was with my best friend. I remember the last time that we went to see Mortal Kombat was a Saturday that we were doing nothing, and I said, "You want to go to see a movie? You want to go to see Mortal Kombat again? Yeah, okay, let's go." We went, and we just love Mortal Kombat. I love that part when Liu Kang has to fight with Reptile, and I really love the part when Reptile comes out, and you hear the announcer's voice says Reptile. I just love that part. Number 2 is what is your favorite 90's TV show? There's so many TV shows in the 90's that I love. I love sitcoms were the best, and I love Roseanne. Roseanne was one of my favorite shows. But there was a lot of TV shows that I love that were actually cartoons. That were cartoons. But if I have to pick one TV show that I really love, it has to be Star Trek: The Next Generation. I love Star Wars and I love Star Trek very much. And back in that day when Star Trek: The Next Generation started to air, my brother's godmother suffered a car accident, and it was in summer. And all summer I actually stayed with her, and she actually gave me a lot of money to go to rent movies, and I rented a lot of movies, and I started to rent Star Trek movies that I actually didn't see, and we actually saw the movies backwards. Back in that time, I think it was Star Trek 4 or Star Trek 3. One of those two was the newest one. I don't remember. But we started to watch them all the way back to the first one, and one that I actually found the Next Generation on video, which was the pilot, the first 2 episodes, and I actually got hooked with Star Trek: The Next Generation. Then one of the local TV channels here started to air it in Spanish, and I loved it. And I remember every Sunday, the last thing that I did was watching Star Trek Next Generation, then Deep Space Nine on cable every Sunday before I actually went to sleep. So that is my favorite 90s show, Star Trek. Cartoons, favorite 90s cartoons. Like I said, there are so many cartoons that I loved back in the 90s. And I actually cannot choose one. I just can't. I just can't. It's very difficult for me. I actually love Gargoyles. I love Tailspin. I love Darkwing Duck. Those were the Disney cartoons. But there were so many cartoons that I liked that it's very difficult to actually remember all of them. But God, I really have to get back on that. But if I'm gonna pick one, I'm gonna pick a cartoon show from the 90s. I really have to go with, let's see here. Rescue Rangers. Oh, that's one. Let's go with that one. But I cannot remember. There were many of them. Damn, there were many. Sorry about that one. Favorite cartoon? No, favorite 90s toy. I actually didn't have many toys back in the 90s. It was my little brothers who had all the toys. But I remember playing with him a lot. And one of the toys that we played a lot was with Micro Machines. And he had a big collection of Micro Machines. Then I started to buy Micro Machine for myself of Star Wars and Star Trek ships. So that's the one. And the last one is favorite 90s video game. So easy. Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2. There is nothing else that I can say about video games in the 90s that isn't Street Fighter. That is the baddest video game for me. Let me see how I have this time. 7 minutes. I actually did good this time. The last attempt actually took me 11 minutes. God, that was awful. So those are my response for this tag. As always, I film the response without looking people to tag. I always forgot to look first for the people to tag. So I'm gonna put them right. It's not there anymore. Down there. I do not like this new phase of YouTube. The way that you look the videos now, I don't like it. I really like to have all the information on this side instead down there. So right over there, I'm gonna put the tags of the people that I'm gonna tag. As always, bonus tags. So I'm gonna try to tag this time new people, new subscribers that I had, because this tag has been going on for a long time, and I know that many of my oldest subscribers, I have already done it. So I'm gonna try to find a few of them. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do bonus, but I'm gonna try. So this is my answer. See you later.